Welcome back, everyone. Hi, it's Dawn here. Nobody joining me tonight live. I mean, here on the screen, but I know you're out there in the chat looking forward to this next presentation. And so I'm excited. And for those of you who have joined me for both of the double features, thank you. That's amazing. I appreciate it. It's really fun to have you on board, especially when I have a harebrained idea like going live two times in one day. There's so many ideas for next week, and I am going to try to get a little bit caught up because, as you know, I missed 6 weeks, and I've been plugging along since then. So I just feel like I want to make up some ground here. So how's everyone doing? It's good to see you. Hi, Society Page. Right? I'm going to stop saying things couldn't possibly get any crazier. Exactly. Because humans are capable of making things even worse than we would have thought, which is kind of bad, but looking, oh yeah, I've got glasses. Tennis girl, hi everybody. Hi, it's so good to see you. Okay, so as promised, we're going to take a look. I want to give you some options tonight because we're probably going to have to do this in a couple segments anyway, but I wanted to cover the obviously what I said I was going to cover. That would probably be a good idea, right? The body cam video, the body cam footage, shall we say, of Jodi Hildebrandt getting arrested, and not just getting arrested, but the police officers coming to her door at first, and that's part of it. And I also mentioned toward the end of the previous live stream that there's a second police interview that was done with Kevin, excuse me, Franke. And that's not a video, it's body cam audio only for some reason. So I'd like to also talk about that. So if tonight gets too boring, we could do Kevin's second police interview, or we could do it first. Which do you think? Should we do Jodi first? Let's do Jodi first. I think we should, because that's what I said we were going to do, and I don't want people coming to this video and then doing a switcheroo. But we'll do Kevin next. Does that sound good? And now, just fair warning, the video, the body cam footage that we're going to go over tonight. Okay, Tennis Girl says Jodi first. Thank you. The body cam video footage that we're going to go over tonight, there's a lot of downtime, shall we call it? I'm not sure what to call it. And so there might be some time where I'll scooch through it, speed up through it. But we'll see. My cat just woke up from her nap. Hi, Tosh. It's good to see you. And maybe she'll make an appearance. She hasn't been coming on the video with me very much lately. I don't know. She goes through phases of what she likes to do. So, okay, I know. I want you to see her. Now, I hope you're all following Tosh on her Instagram. Are we? I'm going to leave that here. Let me put that in the chat, because her entire story is, if you go from start to finish, or like from the oldest start to finish, if you go from the oldest post that I did from Tosh to today, it brings you all the way up to date. Oh, you're not on Insta? I don't know if you have to be on. It's public, so you can I'm sorry. Hey, Mona says, I like a cat that naps 18 hours a day. Most of them do. So this is her Instagram is Tosh Lashot. And if you're interested in checking her out, her whole story is there. And she has an interesting story, actually. Yay. Okay, so let's roll. Let's grab this video and share my screen, present the video. I had just enough time, you guys, in between the double feature 1 and 2 just now to watch the San Diego women's volleyball team lose really badly. But I'm still glad that I watched them, because it's a really cool thing that we have a professional, pause, that we have a professional women's volleyball team now. in San Diego and in some other major cities. So, whoops. Oh, man. All right. I am having the worst time. Okay. Body cam. Share. Okay. And I haven't even had a glass of wine yet. I'm having a half a glass of wine while we do this tonight. So I don't know what's wrong with it. Okay. So here we go. This is really interesting because it's actually going to show the police officers before they even get to her door. So ready, set, ready to go? Let's go. Okay. Let me know if you can hear. Some of these parts do not have any sound. So there is no sound here. I'm not sure why this other officer has, it looks like dirt all over his arm. I don't know if he was climbing around the house or maybe those are tattoos, but I don't think those are tattoos. Those don't look like tattoos. Maybe they are. And he's holding on to this other police.
184.
Here we go.
Front door's off to the left.
I'm going to just quick do a pause because that is coming out. Did you hear that sound right there? It didn't seem to be. No, it's not. Goodness. Hold on one sec. I checked my settings before. Okay, sorry. All right, tell me if you can hear. It's for some reason playing out of my computer and not into my headset, which can be okay. But what can happen is you can get an echo. So I'm going to take my headset off and do it this way. And you let me know if it sounds funny or echoing, and I'll put my headsets back in. But for some reason, even though my headsets were tested, doesn't look like they're working.
Ring, ring, ring. No, go.
Did he say ring, 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 ring? Did you hear what the cop just said? What a freaking door. And the other guy says, yeah, that is an impressive door for sure. The architecture is interesting. You can see that design emulated throughout the house. It's actually very well done.
Police officers, open up! Got movement right here. Right there. Contact. Got movement. Open the door! Jodi, I need you to step out.
I just had to pause and take in the size of that door. I mean, you can't see Jodi very well here. She's not, she looks so small next to that door.
I am by church.
I mean, just this door. It's impressive. That door is impressive. I just had to stop and pause for the door.
That's great. Step out of the house.
No, I'm not going to.
I have my lawyer on the phone. That's great. Step out of the house. I loved that line. I mean, he's like, yeah, we're not concerned with who you have on the phone.
Step out of the house. Step out of the house.
Whoa.
We're just going to see if you're going to be on phone.
Wait a minute. How do you come in my house?
Right there.
They go into my house.
Okay. This is so weird. Now, see how she's holding on to, she's holding onto the phone with one hand and she's holding onto her wrist with her other hand and holding it up. What is that? I've never seen that move before, but what is that? Also, what is all that stuff piled up at the door to the guest room over there on the steps. Also, there's a lot of weird stuff in her house I'm going to point out. Did you notice the window behind her to the right, if you're facing her like this above the railing there? It's completely shaded. All of the windows going into the house, it happened pretty fast that the police went in there, but all shaded. Now, that could be because it's the desert sun, but I also wondered if it's shaded so people just can't see inside. But what are those stacks of whatever there? What is that?
Just have a seat right there.
Do you have a search warrant?
Have a seat right
Do
there.
you have a search
Have
warrant?
a seat right there. I'll explain everything after. Have a seat right there.
Do you have a search warrant, sir?
Control 12X11. Can you hold?
Do you have a search warrant? Do you have a search warrant? It didn't work. Do you have a search warrant, sir? She definitely is not so insane that she doesn't know how to adapt her behavior to get better results, because screaming at them wasn't working.
Oh, there. We're searching the house.
I can tell you what's in the house.
Okay. Just have a seat right there for me.
I can tell you what's in the house. Yeah, I'm sure you can, but there's more than what you can tell us or will tell us, I'm sure. Okay, so here she's got 2 phones. Check it out. She's got 2 phones, one in her left hand and one in her right, where she was holding her wrist with that other phone. Very strange. And, or it's something, it could be a booster and not 2 phones, but I would guess it's 2 phones.
Do you have a search warrant?
We'll explain it after this.
You can't just come into my house without a search warrant.
We'll explain everything after this, ma'am.
So see that thing that she's holding, not the phone, I guess in her left hand. It's shaped like a phone, but I'm not sure if it's a phone or not. It looks a little bit thicker. Just tell me what you think that is.
Okay. Well, that's one of the reasons why we're here. So we'll explain after everything's done, after we clear the house and make sure everything's fine in
But
there.
why are you coming into my house without a
We'll
search warrant?
explain it after this.
But that doesn't make sense. You come into my house and do what you want, and then you tell me you don't have a
No,
warrant?
we'll explain why we did.
But don't you have to have a warrant?
Not at this moment, we don't. We're here on exigent circumstances. And I'll explain it after this, after my sergeant and the officer are done clearing the house.
So she is nodding her head somewhat, yes, in agreement. Now she is agreeing that these are exigent circumstances or extreme, or there's a life in danger. And by the way, that huge window on the left side of the screen also completely shaded. And that's their living area, I believe. You would think you'd want a little light in there. I don't know. So she's holding the phone with her right hand and this other thing that looks like the shape of a phone with her left hand to her chest tightly for a long time. And in this look on her face, although there's a lot of shading, it's not great lighting, her mouth somewhat agape and her eyes looking just kind of in shock. This is what we're going to see for about 10 minutes. So I might speed up, but let's just see what happens. But at least they did tell her. And I agree, they should tell her why they're in her house. I don't know. I would want to know, but she doesn't just get out of the way. Like if I had police barging in my house, I think I'd probably just like go sit down somewhere and wait for them. I don't know, because they usually have something going on that they need to take care of. So this is so weird. She's just frozen like this for like 10 minutes. She's holding that phone out. Now, I do think she's holding the phone out so her lawyer can hear, but obviously there's nothing for him to hear. So it's just weird how she doesn't take the phone away, like relax or set it down with the other thing that she has and wait for them and then put the phone back out. It's just like this frozen position with her mouth still open. She's probably breathing through her mouth. She's probably got a lot of anxiety. And by the way, just remember this is the last time when she opened that door that she would ever open that door to anyone, probably in her life. She won't be going back there. That home is no longer, where her home is now in prison.
Is there anybody else in the house?
Yes.
2 kids?
There's a little girl.
Just one?
She's right over here.
Okay. How old is she?
She'll be 10 next week.
Okay. And she's on this side?
Mm-hmm. I have Airbnb guests over there. Probably scared them to death.
Okay.
Probably scared my Airbnb guests to death. Okay. He's like, not too worried about that. Kind of worried about the life of a 10-year-old girl. At least she told the truth that there was a girl, 10-year-old in there. Surprisingly.
And they're on this side of the house then?
They're right over there. She's over here.
Can you get through the house that way?
Yes, they just have to go right there.
There's no other kids besides her?
No.
What's her name?
It's really eerie to me. And this is only the second time I've looked at this. So to hear the police inside doing all their clearing and their whatever they have to say to one another, and it's very echoey in there. That house is almost empty except for furniture.
Should be off to, where are you at? Should be off to the left, right in there. Is it the main bedroom?
It's right there.
How do you get there from the inside?
Walk around the corner. There's a little hall. And it's the first.
It's just around the corner, down the hall.
Second door to the right.
I don't know if that was freeway noise or a police helicopter, but there was a large contingent of law enforcement staging outside her home. She has a very long driveway, but on the road. I think she knew the boy got away. It's before this all happened, because obviously she said there was only one child inside and it was a girl. So she would, and this was really shortly after the boy went for help and got escaped from her. And so she knew somehow or another. She was already on the phone with her lawyer, but there was a huge law enforcement presence. So I'm sure she knew they were coming. So it was kind of interesting. Maybe the lawyer said, call me when they arrive, when they come to the door or whatever, because she took a minute to get to the door. So I know she's stunned and all that. The amount of energy, though, that it would take to hold like this position for that amount of time it takes energy. She's totally in shock, for sure.
Oh, hey, Eve. Eve, is that you? Got it. There's a 10-year-old down that hallway in that bathroom. Where you at? I'm right here. I'm going to be down the hall to the right.
Looks like there's two. There's two.
There's two.
Look like two.
There's only one.
So she's trying to be helpful here. Nope, there's only one. She's shaking her head. No, there's not two, which is kind of interesting why she wants to even contribute anything, but she does. And so, yeah, she might have heard the ambulance. And by the way, when that neighbor did make contact with the police with the 911 call, I don't know if you guys remember hearing this, but he said, we've had trouble with that house or that home before, with them before. So I'd love to know what that was, because I haven't heard of any evidence further about what that might have been. But that neighbor did say that where the boy escaped to him and he called 911. He said the house 2 doors down, and we've had trouble with them before.
Well, who's this at the door then? Oh, that's never mind. Sorry, that was one of the officers. I thought it was two.
One contract. Or two, David.
Well, it should just be one. Just one.
Just one. Sorry. Contact one. I'm holding down here.
And so that would be in agreement with what the boy said too, that his sister was that his little sister was with him, because the police asked him that and they wanted to go make sure there weren't any other children, right? And so he said there was one, but I believe what I heard is there was some confusion because they thought the girl that they're talking about that's in the home right now, as this is happening, was a boy, because Ruby shaved her head and she was so skinny you couldn't see if she was developed at all as a girl. So sadly, they thought they found a boy, and so they were still looking for the girl, is what I understand.
I got this one right here. Hold there, sister. Police department, call out. Police department, call out. Moving you. Moving. Police department, call out. Holding fade right. Left.
Hi.
Yeah.
Are you waiting for me to say something, or? Okay.
This part is really interesting. First, he says, "Are you waiting for me to say something?" It's like, okay, because they're thinking, "Why do you look so weird, lady? What is with you?" Okay, so this part gets interesting what the police officers say.
You got that up there? Yeah, up there. See the downstairs? We've got one.
She said our Airbnb people were here.
They're at the cat scone out there.
Oh, okay.
There's only Eve.
What's that?
There's only Eve. They're saying there's another person. There's not.
Okay.
I'll bring him in. Hold on. Okay, we clear open here? Yeah. Yeah.
Control 12X11, you're clear to open air.
Okay, she's starting now a little bit to sway back and forth. So you can see her doing this a little bit. And that is like, as mentioned by Mona, her cortisol wearing off. It gets harder to stand still like that, but she's still holding that, both of those devices in place, frozen.
Are you the owner of the home? Are you renting a room to somebody? Like an Airbnb? Where's that at? Is it the basement?
No.
There's just a room on the outside there? Can you access that room from inside here, inside the house? Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can? Okay.
Yeah, I have guests there. I don't assume they're there.
You know where they're from?
I think they said Salt Lake.
Salt Lake?
I couldn't hold my phone that long. I'm sorry. What the hell? So big, yeah, big sigh there. She let out a big breath there. Yeah, isn't it rough? Dude, it's 16 minutes in. Okay, the police took about a minute or two, but she still has that phone up to her face, for goodness sakes. She's definitely, you can see the body sway more prevalent now. It's a combination of trying to stay still while standing, and you can't do that for that long most of the time without some kind of swaying. And then, unless you're some kind of super athlete, and probably some self-soothing, but it's getting much more obvious now. Oh God. I'm sorry, but she just looks like such a dope with the phone there. Like, nobody's talking, no one's saying anything. Put it down for a minute. Like, just put it down by your side or around. I don't know. It just doesn't, she just looks so weird. Like, ready. What is it? I don't know. It just bugs the pickings out of me. Gosh, so weird.
Adam, I know you have a flight to catch, so they're just.
Well, so they're in your home because he lied to them about.
Yeah, I've got a police officer standing right here.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I've got a police officer standing right here. So probably, attorney, this is not the greatest time for you to mention that I lied to them about. Now you can hear that was the attorney. She initiated it and she said, I know you have a plane to catch. So in other words, she's realizing this is going to take a while. I don't know how much she can hear, but it took 4 hours. And then he started to say what he said there about her lying.
I don't want you to miss your flight, so.
Well, I'm not going to miss my flight. I'm okay for a minute.
Okay.
So now she starts crying. I don't want you to miss your flight, because she's so nice and she wants to be on the good side of the attorney. Okay, so now all of a sudden she's fragile.
Have they found her yet?
Yeah, they have you. They think there's somebody else in the house. There's not.
Have they found her yet? So he knows exactly what's going on. They knew exactly what was going on. Probably, I don't know how fast it hit the news either, but they knew what was going on, both Jodi and her attorney.
Are there 3 children that are supposed to be in this house?
There's one that's here.
One that's here. There's not 3 children that are supposed to be here in this home.
Yeah. I have one officer standing right here with me. There's about 6 of them. I don't know what it is. I know they found her. I don't know if they left her there. I don't know.
So she could obviously hear enough to know that they found her, the one they were looking for, the youngest daughter. And this is, again, the daughter of Ruby and Kevin Franke that was at Jodi Hildebrandt's. And the next two daughters, next two in age up, older, and the two middle children actually are both daughters. And they were with Pam, who is also part of this whole connections thing. She must have told this attorney a lot because she keeps hushing him and saying there's a police officer standing here every time he tries to speak with her. Okay, so she is, I'm trying to do right and left here. So she's holding the phone with her right hand still, of course, as I mentioned, very close up to her face. So that could be some kind of hiding that she's using the phone for, as well as having the attorney hear what's going on, but she's not holding it out. Like if I wanted somebody to hear something, I'd have the phone out. I wouldn't have it facing me because the microphone's here. I don't know. But on the other side, she's no longer holding her wrist. She's got her left hand over her black heart. Yeah. Okay, I think she's hiding her face to a certain degree, whether it's, I mean, not intentionally necessarily, subconsciously, but she's definitely hiding her face. And the phone's going up higher, so we're not seeing her mouth and her eyes, like her eyes in her mouth opened. It's now up here, closer to her, holding it up, which would take more energy, especially because she's no longer holding her wrist or her elbow. Yeah, so now that other thing is a device, whether it's a phone or whatever. I think you guys have mentioned she might be looking at. It might be a designated device for her Ring cameras. Could be. Then maybe she could look around and see the contingent of law enforcement that's out there, because that would be a trip. Now we're getting some crying. She's realizing this is the end of everything. I think she knows she's done for. They yelled out blue, blue, blue. So they're yelling out a lot of signals and codes, the police officers. And I wanted to get a police officer on here to explain this to us. Not available right now. Too short notice I gave him. But at some point, I'd love to hear his thoughts on all of, because you can hear what they're saying to one another. Blue, blue, blue. I wonder what that means. She needs water. She's dehydrated. Just like us. Did you really hear them mention Geek Squad? Maybe they're trying to get the safe open. Or are you joking? I can't tell.
Can you hear me, Jodi?
Yeah. There's, no, it's on speaker. Hold on.
I don't know why, but when the attorney said in his voice, "Can you hear me, Jodi?" It just was really interesting. It was so clear, and he has a deep voice and a serious voice. And I don't know, it just struck me. I don't know if it hit you guys that way or not, but "Can you hear me, Jodi?" was very serious. And it's like, yeah, can you hear anyone, Jodi? Can you see what you've done? So we're still 24 minutes in. Just try holding your phone up to your face for 24 minutes and tell me you would not get tired. I'd be like flat on my back.
Okay. 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 Yeah. 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 Thank you.
So yeah, she's sniffling and crying now, but that took until about a good 20 minutes in.
No, you want to do it outside.
You guys gonna grab cars?
Yeah.
Mine's still running.
Okay, come here. This is what after. Down there, then we can drive.
You just walked in the house with a machine gun in your hands.
Oh, Jodi, I'm so sorry.
They just walked into the house with machine guns in their hands. Oh, give me a break. Sorry, but Not at all. Not at all sympathetic. You guys, I just wrote something in my own chat and YouTube rejected it as spam. Okay, all I said was the house is architecturally appropriate for the desert area. It's not everyone's style. I don't know, maybe I misspelled something, but that was weird. It's my channel. I'm not spamming. Hi, I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't know what just happened. First it tells me I'm spamming and then it kicks me out of my own. Oh my gosh, I wasn't looking at the time. Okay, here we go. I was saying the house is good for that area architecturally good. Can you guys hear me okay still? All right, we're back. Let me know if you can hear me. Okay, so now she's switched. So now the other device is up with her left arm and she's finally giving her right arm a little bit of break and has the phone maybe. I think she's got them stacked together right now, which you're not really supposed to be doing with the devices, but especially when you're satanic, because gosh knows what could happen. Those two devices. I'm going to speed up here.
Yeah. I think it might be a help. Side with it. All right. Airbnb. Oh, I they still everything out. I don't know. You had them somewhere on the side.
Sorry, I forgot to unspeed it. Who's this guy? I forgot who this guy was. Is that the captains? Who is that? He's obviously someone with law enforcement. I think they were talking about the people that were staying at her in the other part of the house as a rental. Hold on a sec. Could be. Her sniffing is driving me bananas. So I'm confused because this isn't her phone, and the phone is the one she had on speaker with the lawyer. So why is she holding this one up now and not the other one? I'm so confused because for a while she was holding them both together. This is funny. Now she's looking up. Now, quite a bit. This is where she switches to looking up. She just. No, not yet.
Jodi, is the officer still there?
Yeah, offered me that house.
What did he say? I gotta go back. Sorry, you guys. This is why it's painful. Your chat is helping me get through this. You can really see the sway now that I have it at 1.5 speed. It's more pronounced. She's not going quite that fast. It's just I have it. Here he comes. Yes, law enforcement did speak with the renters. She told them, she pointed where they were kind of rudely, but they did go over. It probably took them out of there. And eventually that's where they put Ruby Franke, because I don't know if you guys realize this or not, but Ruby actually drove to Jodi's house when she heard what was going on. And I don't know who summoned her, but she was on her way there, and she does pull up in this driveway. They don't show that part, but it did happen.
Jodi, is the officer still there?
Okay, so this is why I was confused. So the attorney's asking Jodi, are the officers still there? Right as this other officer is walking in. So that's why I had to clarify.
Offered me that house.
Is there an officer that's close by you?
Yeah, he's standing.
Somebody?
I don't know who he is, but yes,
My lieutenant.
he's lieutenant.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
You have a room downstairs that has a safe wheel on the front. How do we get access to that to ensure that there's no one else in this home?
Bam. Now listen to this nice answer from Jodi about the safe in her home. Adam. So the attorney knew about the safe. She asks her attorney what to say about the safe.
They do need to search that there's nobody else, so I think you can give them access to make sure there's nobody in there.
Because he knew there was nobody in there.
And then you don't have to tell me the code if you just want to open it. We're going to go in and make sure that nobody's else there, and then we'll sit down and have a conversation after that as far as why we're here. Does that make sense?
Yes, it
Okay.
makes sense. And
Do you want to open it then?
I don't know if I have the code.
Does he have the code and he can tell you the code and that's just between you two?
No. That thing has been locked for a couple of years, and I would have to call whatever.
Okay. Is that a panic
I don't know if I have the code. That thing has been locked for a couple of years. We know that's not true.
room or a room
It's a
where?
room with a,
So he's asking if it's a panic room, if it's a room, or if it's a safe. And she does acknowledge it's a room. Why? Because the young boy told the officers about this. So they already knew she was lying.
toilet with the sink.
Toilet and a sink, and you don't know the code.
I haven't used it.
Okay. All right. Where we're at.
I haven't used it. He's like, all right, but he knows that's not true.
That's right. Let's get info from.
You got to call the safe company? Is that how you have to
I'm
call?
assuming that's where I have to call.
Okay.
This hasn't been at the top of my priority list.
Yeah.
It just hasn't been on the top of my priority list. Excuse me? Please. No, she did tell them that that the little girl was in there. She did tell them that, and her name and her age earlier. Yes, it was more or less like a panic room. It was a locked room. Yes. And that little boy, yeah. And they found evidence in there of handcuffs and duct tape and all the things that he was tied up with inside there. Yeah. I mean, okay, so let me ask you what you guys think, because it's like, to me, I'm wondering, I guess she's just trying to prolong the inevitable, but she knows they're going to get in that safe. Now she's starting to, rub her neck and doing some other visual signs that she's thinking this through, like, oh, they're going to go in the safe. They're going to get in that safe one way or another. So this isn't just about taking the little girl away. It's a little bit more than that. Because now she's like rubbing her head and her neck and her hair. She wasn't doing that earlier.
So Jodi, can you put the phone to your ear?
Yeah, just a minute. Yeah.
Finally, the lawyer says, how about you take me off a speaker? Like, duh.
Yeah. Check what?
Okay, so that device has a wire. So maybe it's a power charge. I thought it was a charger, but she was looking at it and scrolling through it, unless she's holding the phone and it together. It's probably just a power charger and some kind of booster, not only for power, but a cell booster because of the area they're in, maybe.
I
That's
don't
right.
know what that means. I just think if I call the, I don't know that for certain, but I think if I call the, whatever it's called Liberty Safe. But I don't know if they're gonna know.
So she is keeping on with this charade with the safe, not knowing the combination to the safe with her lawyer. So maybe he doesn't know that she was using it for child abuse.
Because I'm the one that said it. But that was 6 years ago.
I mean, if you have a panic room, wouldn't you want to have the code handy? What good is the panic room if you don't know the code?
No. No. Okay, you want to put it on speaker? Okay, hold on. Okay, you're on speaker.
Officer, so the other individual, I don't know if that was you, mentioned that you would explain the purposes behind what you thought were the exigent circumstances. Can you tell us those now?
I can't. You'd have to talk to my sergeant or lieutenant about that.
Could you get them, please?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Let's see. LT. The
Ruby hasn't arrived yet. When she does arrive, they don't let her see Jodi. They put her in the Airbnb, which is like a casita, a part of the house, like a mother-in-law's quarter type thing.
she's on the phone with her attorney.
Okay.
He's asking what the reasons why we're here. Because when I pulled her out, I told her, I was like, we're just here. Exigent circumstances required us to be here. So he was like, what are those? I was like, I'd have to talk to somebody
Yeah, I'll
else.
have to talk to his face, or I'm not going to talk to him on the phone.
Do what?
Yeah, no, I can talk to him on the phone. Is that your attorney?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, sir.
Hey.
Hey, it's Lieutenant Studley. Hey, so we're not going to have.
I just love that name, Lieutenant Studley. It sounds like a cartoon character in a way. It's just too good.
Any conversation over the phone. We'll probably do that in person. Is there a time that we could sit down and meet?
Well, there is. I'm getting on a plane, so it would need to be Friday.
Okay,
Could we do Friday?
absolutely. What time Friday works for you?
Well, could we do in the afternoon?
You tell me what time I will be available.
Jodi, would 4 o'clock on Friday work?
Yeah.
You want Jodi there, I presume?
Yes.
He's like, oh, Jodi's going to be there, my friend. Jodi will be there. Jodi doesn't, I don't think she's going to jail or even the lawyer. I mean, come on. He must know he's going to be arrested.
Okay. And you are supposed to announce yourself and explain the purpose. Could you at least explain that to Jodi while I'm on the phone?
Not yet, but I can do that with you on the phone. But again, there won't be any dialogue. We received a report of an emaciated juvenile that had duct tape around his extremities that was asking for food and water. And based on that information, there are other people in the home, so we're ensuring that there is nobody else in the same condition. So under that exit sheet C, we've entered the home. Okay.
And where were we?
Our police department is 55 North Main Street in Ivans.
Did you hear that, Adam?
I did, yeah. And Jodi, officer, thank you. I don't know if you saw
Yeah, no, we're here.
Okay. Jodi, we'll just plan on 4 o'clock on Friday. And Ruby's on her way down for the children, right?
Yeah.
Boom. Okay, so Jodi called Ruby. So Ruby's on her way, and Ruby does show up, and she also gets arrested at that home, but they keep Ruby over into the Airbnb or the mother-in-law's quarters. So to answer some questions in the chat there.
Okay. Actually, before I hang up, officer, can I talk to Jodi just briefly?
Absolutely. I will walk away and you are on your own.
Hi, Zoe. Obviously, Ruby isn't coming to get the children because they were both in such bad shape they had to go to the hospital. I'm guessing this might be where the lawyer tells her to be prepared that she might be arrested. I'm not sure.
Ruby comes and takes her. I think they're going to take her. I think they're going to take her. Got it.
So Jodi is saying to her attorney, I think they're going to take her. I think they're going to take her. Okay, look at this house. Take a good look around and see if you see anything on the shelves in the kitchen, books, like normal things that you would live with. This house echoes like crazy. I think part of the reason is there are very few objects in it to absorb the sound. It's not just the, where it is out in the desert and the architecture.
I'll stay at the door. Okay. Okay. Good luck.
That's what I'm doing.
Oops.
All I know is that someone needs to go draft a search warrant. So that's probably fine. I just want to do that based on his info. You got her.
He's straight in there.
I hope he didn't just take that vest off with his weapon and leave it on the chair. I wouldn't trust Jodi to come and run, grab the weapon. Oh, I'm glad you mentioned rugs. Watch the rug action. There's some weird things about the rugs too. You'll see. There are several area rugs, but you'll see. Let me know in the chat when you notice it. Once they go inside. Okay, yeah, so she has her little power charger and her phone sandwiched together there. I'm gonna speed this up. Mimi. Now she's frantically typing or searching for something. Now that her lawyer's gone. Okay, now I lost I'm in full screen or something over here and I can't see the time, but we're into it by a half hour. So her arms have to be really tired. But now that her attorney has hung up the phone and taken off, made an appointment for Friday, now she's texting somebody, probably Ruby.
I'm at the front door.
I would have been sitting on the stairs after 1 minute. I would have been like laying on the cement, I think, exhausted. I would have been so stressed out.
Yes, we got these
That was funny. Sorry, I didn't get to the not speeding it up, but he didn't say anything to her.
You still have your attorney on the phone?
Okay, hold on. All right, now somehow I've lost you guys. Hold on. I've lost my setting. There we go. I'm in Strugglesville today. Okay, let's go.
Okay. I just want to advise you of our intentions. It seems like there's a room we can't get into, and we're getting some conflicting information. We're going to go draft a search warrant. We'll be right back, okay?
What does that mean, a search warrant?
What's that?
What does he mean, a search warrant?
I'm just going to get a warrant from the judge.
What does he mean, a search warrant? She's been crying for for 45 minutes why they're in her house without a search warrant. So then they tell her they're getting a search warrant. She's like, what does he mean they're getting a search? I mean, she has absolutely nothing to say in this matter. And I think it's become so obvious to her, but it's kind of funny to see her make these small attempts at control.
You already hear that. I don't understand what that means.
They'll explain it to you when they give it to you.
the way she turns her head, like, they'll explain it to you when they give it to you. She's like, you know, she just wants to go off full Karen on him and can't. Great comparison.
Getting conflicting information from.
I don't know. I don't know who they talked to since we've been here. Like I said, the reason Lieutenant Studley said the reason why we're here is to make sure everybody was okay. That everybody was, the condition we found Russell in. The search warrant, I imagine, is going to be do a more in-depth search of the house. Right now, it's just safety and security of the people.
Got it.
Making sure they're okay.
No, I see your position.
Yeah.
That's why I'm crying.
Yeah.
I see why you think this is an issue.
Yeah.
It's sad.
What did she just say? I see your condition. That's why I'm crying. Hold on a second. I got to hear this one again. Okay, we're at 49 in case I mess this up.
Russell in. The search warrant, I imagine.
Hold on. This is what happens when I chat and I don't listen.
They talked to since we've been here. Like I said, the reason Lieutenant Studley said the reason why we're here is to make sure everybody was okay. That everybody was, the condition we found Russell in.
Because of the condition they found Russell in, they're mentioned the children's name's not redacted out of this video, and I do apologize for that. I didn't realize it. This is from KSL Salt Lake TV5. So let's not repeat the children's name, even though it's not redacted from this video. So she's saying she understands, and he's saying because of the condition they found the other child in.
The search warrant, I imagine, is going to be do a more in-depth search of the house. Right now, it's just safety and security of the people.
Got it.
Making sure.
So she's saying, got it. I understand that. Which I think they could have said in the beginning, but anyway.
They're okay.
No, I see your position.
Yeah.
I see your position.
That's why I'm crying.
That's why I'm crying.
Yes.
I see why you think this is an issue.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's like she didn't have anything to do with it. It's just sad that this. Okay. By the way, no one asked her why she was crying. I don't think anyone really wants to hear, Jodi, why you're crying.
I noticed you got a giant bug though back there.
Yeah, it's on my to-do list to sweep that off the front. The guy came and did a
Spray.
spray, and like 3 days later, I had bugs everywhere.
All dead. It worked.
Yeah. That one came a couple days later.
And I seen that and made sure that it was
Yeah.
dead. That was a little intimidating.
He was trying to, the police officer was trying to lighten up and say, hey, but you do have a big bug over here. Kind of just trying to lighten things up. Let me go back to the chat here. And I'm so happy you found us too. Sea salt and sunrise, sunset. Okay, so yeah, Kevin even believed that he was addicted to pornography. From my understanding, he actually wasn't. He wasn't. He was just accepting anything they said about him. Oh, I must have a problem then. It was, from what I understand, and that's why I want to do Kevin's second police interview, not the first one. Next.
Yeah.
You can probably sit on the couch so you're not out here in the sun.
Okay.
If you guys want to go sit
Can I
down,
go to the bathroom?
absolutely. Just have to make sure no one's in the bathroom and let her go in.
Okay.
Just grab you.
I'm good, right?
Okay, we're finally going into the house now. Check out. Okay, there's a rug. You see that rug folded up? You'll see that. See the other rug folded up? I don't know what that is. Were they just cleaning? What's the deal with all the folded rugs?
Okay. Okay. He's talking. I don't know where he's at.
They're letting her use the bathroom, but I don't know if anyone searched it like for medication or weapons or anything they might want to search for.
He's looking for money. I think he's outside. Or... Did you bring all the cars? I hope so. Otherwise, mine's still blocking the road.
From like the address, I pulled it up, right? And I drove over. And it's like, I'm the last car at the very end.
Oh, dang. I think.
I rolled up and the lady's like, oh, they're down the street. I'm like, what the heck? Why are the car going?
Yeah, I think he went down and grabbed mine. Mine was blocking over the road. So.
Yeah. Those guys like,
Oh, yeah.
one of them on the wall.
That's what I would.
Two walks over.
That's what I would.
Smoke over for you. And this one also picking it. You want it? Here you go. Yeah, races. This is about races in the car. I'm not. I gave up almost. That whole lot of crazy stuff. For Justice Patrol car now.
Oh. I should have more bracelets in my car. Somewhere.
I mean, it could be that the shades are just drawn because of the hot sun. It looks like that artwork at the end of the hallway is some religious artwork. Otherwise, there's not much up on these walls. She's been there for 6 years. So I wondered, because they were talking about Jodi and Ruby were looking at property in Arizona, and I wondered if the reason that the shelves were empty and the house looked practically empty was that maybe they've already started packing to move, which would have been really bad for those children. All right, so let me put the sound back up.
Dismiss testing. So just have a seat on the couch.
That cop's vest is right there. I really hope there's no weapon in it. Not that it mattered in this case, but Okay, there's a little bit going on in the kitchen, but in terms of being lived in, there's another religious artwork there prominently on the wall. But if you look at the shelves over on the right part of this, you can see there's nothing on those shelves, which is really odd. And I'm fairly sure I've seen video of Ruby and Jodi together. I believe they were sitting on this couch together. So the camera would have been opposite where she is right now. Hi, Swiffer. I'm gonna skip right till when he starts talking.
So they told you they're in the process of just writing a warrant right now. We're just kind of waiting on that, just so that you know that process. That's why we're just sitting around.
What is the difference?
Huh?
What's the difference in a warrant?
The difference is the reason we came in without a warrant, with what we call exigent circumstances, where we're worried about other children and things like that. And then once we've kind of solidified that and we don't have anything, then we have to write a warrant to be able to continue with our investigation on the home. Does that make sense? So the first entrance is just for safety. The second is if we want to gather any evidence or anything like that, we have to have a warrant. If we want, like, we need to get into that safe to verify no one's in there, so we have to have a warrant. We may end up having to cut it off if we can't figure out how to get in there without doing that. You know what I mean? We don't want to cause damage, but sometimes we're faced with that if we can't figure out how to get in there. So things like that.
So the children's mother is on her way.
What's that?
The children's mother is on her way.
Okay, great. That's great.
The children's mother is on her way. So I think her thinking here is because she's not the mother, she can't insist on keeping E, we'll call her E, which is what I think she's being referred to widely. So I guess she thought that Ruby could come there and get her child before they took her child. So that would be less damaging for her.
We're from where?
Utah County.
Oh, Utah County. Okay, so she's gonna be a few hours.
Hi, sweetheart.
Okay.
There's only 2 kids.
There's just the 2 kids. Okay. Just a boy and a girl. Okay. And the boy is here.
We're just staying with me for a little while.
Huh?
We're just staying with me for a little while.
Okay.
What's the boy's name? Oh, okay.
I think the person that was on the side of the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if you know this, but she at some point tells them that he did that to himself, the child, those injuries. I'm going to scroll. because this whole part is just them waiting for the search warrant. Officer steps out, makes a call. I don't think it really is relevant. And then here's where the search starts. Let's see. And then Ruby Franke comes. So we'll do the search. So an hour later, the police are waiting this whole time. So that's why I scrolled through. There's really not a whole lot happening. She certainly wasn't saying much.
Of course. Because they got surgery. I thought you imagine that being your backyard?
This is driving me crazy. Let me. And then Ruby Franke comes. So, okay. And so we don't have to. And then, okay. So Ruby Franke shows up. They're still searching the house. And just mind you guys, this entire time, this little girl is still hiding in one of the closets because she's so afraid to get out. So all this is going on in the house and outside of the house. That little girl was in that closet after the police arrived to help her. She didn't trust them at all. And she was so frightened. It took 4 hours for her to leave that closet. And of course, she didn't see her mother. They kept her away from her mother and Jodi. I don't really think we have to watch the search. You guys have probably seen that. We can watch it. This is when Hildebrandt comes back into her bedroom and starts talking with the police. Okay. So we'll go there. Oh, this part there's no audio. Sorry. You know what? By the way, thank you again to KSL TV for doing this because they have chapter markers and it's really helpful. So they're just sitting there talking. She's in her bedroom. Again, another folded up rug. I don't know what's the deal with these folded up rugs. There's like a bag there on the floor. I don't know if it was trash. It almost looked like takeout food. That might have been from the police because they brought pizza to the little girl. And then as they're walking through, I don't know if I'll be able to find it. This is Ruby in the guest house. But as they're walking through, I also noticed that at one part of the house, there was really nice, crisp, new brown paper bags, larger than a lunch bag, but not quite as large as a full-size grocery bag, but somewhere in between there, like all stacked up, like in one of the hallways, there were at least 10 of them. I don't know, like these brown paper bags. I don't know what they were, but it was just kind of odd because there's so little else in this house except for these random brown paper bags and folded up rugs. I kind of just noticed all these details. So with that, we've been on for a while tonight anyway. So we've been on an hour and a half. So I think I'll pause there. We can look at, there's really not a whole lot to Ruby Franke's time in the house. She ultimately just gets arrested. They both get arrested and taken away. But Ruby is not as talkative as Jodi. She's defiant, and it's very interesting. And I wonder if they told the kids, I'm guessing, that the police officers are not their friends, don't ever speak to police officers. You can just tell that they have a very strong mistrust of authority, both Ruby and to her husband to a certain extent, but not like Ruby, and then Jodi too. So Jodi's basically saying, yeah, once they get her arrested, she's saying, I'm not going to talk to you without my attorney. So yeah, she just doesn't say a word, Ruby. So I just kind of wanted to go over the Jodi part because I just think she's so different. I mean, Ruby is very different too, but I've never seen anything quite like that with the staring. And at one point, I guess I missed it, but at one point, one of the officers says, "Why are you staring at me?" And I didn't hear that tonight, but he did say it. I thought it was around the time when he said something when he was kind of over to the side. And that was the lieutenant who said that. Like, why are you so weird? In other words, why are you so acting so weird? Like, why are you so weird? I mean, I guess everybody would act weird if they're being arrested and their home is being raided, but still, it's just a little extra odd. So, okay. You guys, a lot of comments here. Compared to our cozy shoeboxes, I'm thinking you're talking about our home. Yeah. Yeah, it does. It feels all like off. It just feels like no one has moved in yet, or they're moving out. And given the conversation that they might move out to Arizona with the 2 young children, or the 4 children actually, so they can learn how to really work. I mean, whew, yeah, she's very, very special. And in light of what Kevin Franke reveals on his second interview, in the chat, how many of you have heard his second interview, which was actually only done in late 2023? And it was the police interview. Anyone? Because it wasn't the first police interview, Kevin Franke, Ruby told Kevin, he wouldn't tell them this, but Ruby told Kevin to go get the other, what did he say? To go get the children at the police station. He thought he was picking up his children, supposedly, at the police station. They were, of course, in the hospital. And so they told him, Kevin, what condition his children were in and all of this. But he says a lot more during the second interview. And it was only audio. It wasn't, I'm guessing it was done at his home. And there's no video. Okay, so you probably heard the first one then. Was there, Tennis Girl, was there video with the one that you heard? Was he sitting like in a interrogation room type thing? Because in the second interview, thank you. I'm glad you like my take. I think we all have something different to say. Okay, so you did see the video. Okay, so for my next episode, we'll go through that second interview because it will tell you so much. It will give you so much color because there's a lot of color missing, you might say, in this video. It'll give us a lot of color on Jodi and Ruby, but Jodi in particular, as well as that Pam. And I don't know if you guys saw the Pam one. I think I did that on my channel, if I'm not mistaken. I might not have. I might have to do that too. But since they're both already charged, I mean, I don't normally go into things after it's done. There's usually a trial, though. I just think it's worthwhile in this case because it's so important. It's so similar to Daybell, which is going on this week. The second trial is going on this week. So thank you for saying it's the best channel. Yeah, yes. For the second one has no video. So you probably all heard the first one, not the second one. So I will do that. And I'll try to do it during the week. Second question for the chat and final. Oops. Oh, good. Swiffer Duster. Okay, so you haven't seen either one. So you want to check this out. The second question is who's watching the Chad Daybell trial? That'll probably start, I'm guessing, next week since jury selection starts Monday. Who's watching that? Thank you, Helen. You guys are awesome. It's so good that you're here. You make everything fun and interesting. Okay, Tennis Girl is watching Chad Daybell. I should say Idaho versus Chad Daybell. So I will be, paying attention to it. I cannot handle any of this testimony about the condition of the children or things that were necessary, anything that was done to them. I mean, I know what happened. I know enough. I can't sit through that. But I will be, and I just don't know how much I'm going to be able to take of John Pryor, to be honest, Chad Daybell's attorney. So I'm going to do my best to have that. I won't probably watch the video the whole time. It's a long trial, but I will definitely be listening to the audio, except for those parts that are just, I can't handle. So I was just curious. I'm very interested in Lori's next trial in Arizona for the murder of her husband, Charles Vallow, and attempted murder of Brandon Boudreaux. I'm very interested in that. I'm also very interested in seeing if the Phoenix or the Chandler police reopen the investigation of Joe Ryan's death, her third husband. So very interested in paying attention to that because that whole thing is just crazy with Lori. So, all right, kids. Yeah. So, hey, Mona says the same thing. I will only watch parts. Yeah, that's how I am. Well, thank you all for joining me. I really appreciate it. Sometimes I have thoughts. That's weird. Sometimes I will have thoughts after I do these live streams, like even a week later, I'll comment underneath my video. So if you ever are back or you think of something, I see those comments, and sometimes I even have comments, and people do comment on the replay. So if you're replaying, please feel free to chat in the comments. So it's so good to see you all. Thank you for being here. Sea salts and sunrise, sunset, SS and SS. I love that. Thank you so much. Best chatters ever. I love it. Okay, kids, see you soon. Take care. Have a good day tomorrow, whatever you're doing.